I suppose this is the part where I should be using my bragging rights. Because my high for yesterday is I totally got my guess right that Chuggaaconroy will be doing Black 2 and White 2. Hooray! I mean, my low is the fact that I guess that my absolute first guess was Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So that's technically wrong. I'll keep that as my low. And my act of kindness was, I did some stuff for my grandma yesterday. So, that was fun. Did all that. Went out for a little bit. I actually went to, actually, hold on. Happy Saturday, everyone. No kidding, last night, for the first time ever, the Illegal Tap House opened their rooftop. You know, for like a party or whatever. And it was nice. View was pretty solid. You know, they've been working on it for a pretty long time, and for the most part, it's a very nice looking rooftop. You know, it's got some wicker furniture, somewhere to put your cup holders. The couch cushions on the wicker furniture was much firmer than I thought it would be. I have no idea why I paid any attention to that, but I did. You know, there was also like tables and chairs and stuff. Basically, they're pretty much going to be using that as their venue for having like events outdoors for, you know, when the warmer weather hits. Although, as of right now, the event exclusively said one night only. So it's hard to say if they're going to be doing it again, but when I was there, and I was there for only a couple hours, everything looked pretty great. And the turnout, as time went on, kept gradually getting more and more. So, for sure, I'm pretty sure there's going to be they'll do it again. I mean, it was such a great turnout, it'd be such a shame to just not do it. But crazier things have happened before. So anyway, about Chuggaaconroy playing Black 2 and White 2. There are a couple things I have to say about that. Foremost is, as a Pokemon fan, I am very glad he's doing another Pokemon game. I mean, Chuggaaconroy has explicitly stated that, I mean, his favorite game series of all time might just be Xenoblade Chronicles, but Pokemon is what introduced him to the RPG genre, or medium, I guess. Is it a genre or is it a medium? I guess video games would be the actual medium. So, and RPGs, how we'll just say that. So, where do I even begin with Black 2 and White 2? For that matter, where do I even begin with Black and White? Because I do believe Black and White started before I started making videos. So, I already mentioned how the one thing I didn't like about the games was how they started level capping you. I like the level grind. But the one thing I really neglected to mention was, in terms of the National Pokédex, that means all of the Pokemon from, you know, number 1, who's Bulbasaur, to, at the end of Generation 5, it's 649, which is Victini. You know, that's a pretty big number. But, you know, every generation added, you know, more new Pokemon, as it usually does. Black and White were the first games to have a completely 100% original Pokédex. Let me explain. See, when the original Gold and Silver came out, you know, there were 250 Pokemon. And there were 100 new Pokemon. But, you know, to keep things fair, to keep things, traditional for, you know, those that were diehard red, blue, yellow fans, you had Pokemon like Alakazam and Gengar, and obviously you could, and Pikachu and stuff like that. You know, like, it's new, but you're not far away from the old. Black and White were the first games where every Pokemon in those games was completely original. A brand new, full 150 Pokemon Pokédex, from Snivy to, actually I believe Genesect would be the final Pokemon of Gen 5. Or no, it was Victini. Pokemon like Genesect and Meloetta came later. But, like, you had basically, it went from 493 to 649. Doing my math correctly now. That's essentially well over 150 new Pokemon. That's actually a bigger increase to the Pokedex than when the Pokedex first started at 151. I believe it's like 100 and... I know this. Shoot. It's 493 to 593 would be 500. Or, to 100, 107. 107 plus 49, 156. So yeah, 156 as opposed to Red, Blue, and Yellow's original 151. This was the biggest increase in the National Dex that we had ever seen at that time. Or since, for that matter. So already, considering that you had that, a new level cap system, which I already shared my thoughts enough about, you don't need to hear anymore. The fact that the sprites could actually move, like, from like Gen 2, which was Gold and Silver, or Gold, Silver, Crystal, to Generation 4, which is Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Like, those 3 generations, because Generation 3 was a Ruby, Sapphire, I don't know. Like, the Pokemon would, like, move, and then, like, get back to place, and it would stay there. But, starting in Black and White, the Pokemon sprite was actually moving, so it was, like, the entire time it was in battle, okay? And if ever it was, like, poisoned or weakened, it would move, like, a little slow. If it was, like, poisoned, it would be, like, glowing purple and stuff like that. Seriously, the Generation 5, I mean, every generation completely changed the game. But this was the biggest change that I had ever seen at that time. So then comes a few years later. Like, we're all wondering what the next game is going to be. Because, you know, after Red and Blue, you had Yellow. After Gold and Silver, you had Crystal. After Ruby, Sapphire, you had Emerald. After Diamond, Pearl, you had Platinum. So a lot of people are thinking, okay, you had Pokemon Black and White, so you're going to do Gray and have Kyurem as the Pokemon mascot on the cover? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Pokemon Black and White on the cover, for Pokemon Black, it's Reshiram, who ironically is white. And for Pokemon White, it's Zekrom, who is ironically black. Contrasting colors, I guess, I don't know. So with Kyurem, you think, okay, we're gonna get a Pokemon Gray. Well, we did get something, and it wasn't what anyone was expecting. Black 2 and White 2. Is it a sequel? Is it a new original story? And who's going to be on the cover of these games? Well, first we got our answer in the fact that Kyurem now has 2 new forms. Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. And Black Kyurem is on Pokemon Black 2, and White Kyurem is on Pokemon White. This time they actually did the double same colors this time as opposed to for Black and White. They obviously color Pokemon for the game title, which I thought was kind of neat. So this is a sequel. It takes place 2 years after the original story, Black and White. You're playing as a completely new character, and you start in a different town, but the story, in terms of going all the gyms, with an exception or two, are the same. Like, your second gym in Black 2 and White 2 is a poison gym. Meanwhile, in the first game, your second gym was a normal type gym. Meanwhile, in the original Black and White, your 8th and final gym was actually the dragon type gym. Where in Black 2 and White 2, it's a water type gym. But many elements are still the same as well. Some gym leaders are obviously still back. They're still there. Not to mention the Elite Four, same 4 people as it always is. But the champion, that's different. See, spoiler alert, by the way. At the end of Black and White, the evil team that's trying to take over the Unova region, which is where Black and White takes place, essentially invades the Pokemon League. So you really don't get to fight the champion, who at the time is Alder, until post-game. Meanwhile, in Black 2 and White 2, they don't pull any punches like that. You fight the champion after you defeat the Elite Four. But who you have against? Who you have to fight against as the champion? None other than Iris. See, in the original two, in Black and White, Iris was essentially an apprentice who studied under a Drayden, who was the Dragon-type gym leader at Opelucid City. Again, the Dragon Gym I mentioned earlier, the one you fight at the very end. I still remember Opelucid City, holy cow. Now, in Black, you fight Drayden himself. In White, you fight Iris. Both of their teams are still essentially the same. It's just Drayden's Pokemon are all male and Iris's Pokemon are all female. That's literally the only difference. And because it's a Pokemon where you can't tell whether they're male or female unless you look at the little icon in the name, there are no differences. Because Pokemon have legitimate differences in how they look in terms of gender, for sure, but not on Drayden and Iris' teams. So to see Iris go from, so in the 2 years, from Black and White, now to Black 2 and White 2, Iris essentially went from being an apprentice at Opelucid City to the champion of the entire Unova region. How did she do it? I mean, don't get me wrong. Whether you fight Drayden or Iris in Black and White, it's the 8th gym. You know it's not going to be an easy battle. But to go from a gym lead to an apprentice to a gym leader, essentially, to then the champion, it blew everyone's mind. And we don't like Iris. I mean, if you ever watch the anime, Iris is fun. I liked Iris. I mean, listen. They're not. No one ever replaced Brock and Misty, bro. They're not trying to replace Brock and Misty. Characters like Iris or Clement, Bonnie, and Serena in Gen 6, which I personally have expressed as the best series I'd ever seen all the way through. You know, May and Max. They're not Brock and Misty. Don't worry about it. Or Don, for that matter. No, they're not Brock and Misty. Get off their case, man. For that matter, Ash is retired now. I don't even know why people are still complaining about that. Anyway. So as somebody who played Black 2 and White 2 myself, naturally I'm very happy that he's doing a game that I personally have played and beat. And I'm glad, but there's a bit of a sad bit to this. Because around the time that, Black 2 and White 2 came out, I was essentially, out of college. Essentially about to finish college. In fact, full disclosure, I didn't start playing Black 2 and White 2 until, 9 months after they came out. And I had the games on, launch day. Unfortunately, I was getting to that time in my life where, as much as I do love the Pokemon series, playing the games kind of felt like a chore to me. And admittedly, I did sort of bring that work upon myself because, I mentioned I love to level grind. I do want to collect a lot of Pokemon and play with them and stuff like that, in the game. Figure out what team works with what, stuff like that. So I will admit, I do make a lot of work for myself. But when it becomes a bit of a chore to do, it kind of loses its luster. I mean, don't get me wrong, I eventually did finish Black 2 and White 2. Thank goodness I am a loser with no friends but 2 Nintendo DS's. So my team was essentially the three starters, which is Superior, Emboar, and Samurott. I had the 2 Pokemon that evolved from trades, which were Gigalith and Conkeldurr. Alright, Superior was a grass type, Emboar was a fire type, Samurott was a water type, Gigalith was a rock type, Conkeldurr was the fighting type. And much like for Black and White, I thought about having Volcarona, because you can actually, unlike in the first game, Black and White, where if you hatch a Larvesta from an egg, you have to level up to 59 to get Volcarona. There's actually a Volcarona in the wild you can catch at level 35 and just add to your team. You could do that. But honestly, I decided not to. The funny thing is, I essentially played through the vast majority of both games up until I got to Victory Road with no 6th Pokemon on my team. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And then, honestly, it just hit me. I was going to have Haxorus be the last Pokemon on my team. For those of you who don't know who Haxorus is, it's the final evolved form of Axew, which is Iris's partner in the anime. And when you face against Iris as the champion, and in the Opaloosa City gym back in Black and White, Haxorus is her main Pokemon, the closer, if you will. So, okay, she's gonna use a Haxorus on me, I'll use a Haxorus on her. It's not like it's a pseudo-legendary which is incredibly hard to evolve either. It's actually pretty fun to use. Especially when you teach it Dragon Dance and you just destroy everything with Outrage. It's great. I love doing that. And since TMs are also unlimited, I taught it Earthquake. Did I also teach it Poison Jab? I think I did. It's been a long time since I played Black 2 and White 2, I'm sorry. But there you go. I was able to beat Black 2 and White 2 after a long time of sheer procrastinating. And it is a lot of fun. So, I mean, needless to say, if you are a Pokemon fan and you can like access like ROMs and stuff and play on your computer, obviously give Black 2 and White 2 a shot. They are a lot of fun. Although, speaking of Chuggaaconroy playing it, like, keep in mind, I pretty much only played the main games of, like, all 4 games. Like, Black, White, Black 2, and White 2. And I didn't even play the Dream Radar. When Chuggaaconroy made his reveal announcement yesterday, he's doing everything in those games. And when I say everything, I do mean everything. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do in Black 2 and White 2. I wouldn't even know where to begin. So much, in fact, that, I mean, keep in mind, he has a few videos ready to go. In fact, it's the first one's premiering tonight. I will be watching it later. And obviously, you know, he can't make, like, all of, I mean, he's not going to start and, like, go all the way to the end. I mean, there's going to be some times where he has to make a few videos, catch up on everything, you know, stuff like that, take a break every once in a while. I mean, Chuggaaconroy is only human. Although if you're Proton John, you may want to consider, although if you're Proton John, you may want to be looking at me funny if I said that. Anyway. It's a Runaway Guys reference. So, considering that Chuggaaconroy is in fact doing everything in Black 2 and White 2, considering the fact that he even said himself, we'll be playing 5 different games, I really wouldn't be surprised. Like, best case scenario, I'm thinking Chuggaaconroy will be done with Black 2 and White 2 completely as a whole. Like, no bonus videos yet, nothing. Oh, actually, you know, I am going to include the bonus videos. It'll be right before the new year. I would not be surprised if it takes from now, being April 22nd, 2023, to late December of this year to beat both Black 2 and White 2. That's just my guess on the matter. But I do look forward to watching from the very beginning tonight. And if you also guessed Black 2 and White 2, congratulations, you now have bragging rights. And as we all know, bragging rights are the best kind of rights. To Chuggaaconroy, on the very slim chance Chuggaaconroy actually watches this, obviously I hope this video finds you well. Obviously I've never met Chuggaaconroy, but he is one of the YouTubers I've always wanted to meet the most in person. I hope this video finds you well. I look forward to what you have to show us. I look forward to who you're going to have on your team. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about, the potential team he's going to have. And here's the thing about Black 2 and White 2, which is even greater. Like, I mentioned how in Black and White, that Pokedex of 156 was all completely original new Pokemon. In Black 2 and White 2, they added over 200 other Pokemon from all 4 generations in the Pokedex that Unova has in Black 2 and White 2. So, if anyone out there is actually going to try and guess what Chuggaa's team is going to be, good luck to you. Because I don't have a clue. I don't even have a clue who his starter is going to be. I mean, in Black and White, he did Oshawott. So we could probably do Oshawott again. But then again, he always wants to do something different, though. That's the thing. So, I'm guessing he's going to... I mean, man, this is hard. You got Snivy and Tepig, who evolved into a Superior and Emboar, respectively. Oshawott eventually evolves into Samurott, which again he had at the end of his Let's Play of Black and White. So I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he is playing both Black and White. I mean, last time he did Black and White, he had Ella play Black. So I don't think it's going to be a case where, you can actually get all the starters in both games. It'd be cool if it was, but no. That'd be too easy for him. He wouldn't want that. I mean, it's fun. Seriously, if you have an opportunity to, trade for the starters to start your game from the very beginning, I mean, you gotta be careful about the whole Pokemon obeying you thing because you don't have enough badges. But when you work your way around that, it is a lot of fun. Yeah. So, again, I am very much looking forward to what this Let's Play is gonna bring. I look forward to the highs and lows that we'll see. I look forward to seeing who his starter is gonna be. So, Chuggaaconroy, I wish you well, and Godspeed, because anyone who's ever played Black 2 and White 2, even just the main story like I did, there's a lot to do. I hope y'all liked this video, and if you did like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm here holding this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy for today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to channel, be here to lend me all day that. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.